Story number 1. Not sure if this is cheating. So my wife and have been together for 13 years. We have 3 kids, one of which is from her previous marriage. She had always been the jealous type and was never comfortable with me having friends of the opposite sex. Even mentioning a female colleague would elicit comments like, "You sure seem interested in so and so. Is there anything I should know about?" These types of comments have always made me feel uncomfortable and not trustworthy, so I would avoid women altogether to be safe. Now her, on the other hand, has had a couple of male friends that I found odd because of her position towards me and the opposite sex. But I chalked it up to her being cheated on by her ex and there being some obvious baggage associated with that experience. Now here's the issue. At around the 9-year mark she asked me if I could watch the kids on Thursday because her friend Miggy asked her out for coffee. Now I had heard of this Miggy person once in a while throughout our relationship. Stuff like they are good friends that go back a while, but I had never met this person. I found it odd that she was so vague about this Miggy person, even so far as not even stating if they were male or female. She would refer to this person as them/they. Weird, right? Anyway, I never pushed it as she didn't mention this person very often. Now normally I would not care about her meeting up for coffee with a friend as she had done so many times in the past. The issue with this particular incident was that when she was asking me if it was okay, I noticed that she could not bring herself to look me in the eye. My wife has always been a very direct talker, even being rather blunt at times. So when she couldn't look me in the eye, flags were definitely going off in my head. Fast forward to Thursday, day of the coffee meeting up, and she totally ghosted me. No call or text after work as we do almost every day. Please keep in mind that this touching base after work policy is her thing that led to many past arguments as to why I was not available immediately after work. So her ghosting me was another huge red flag for me. After her coffee date with her friend, I confronted her about this Miggy character. Turns out his name is Miguel, and initially she gave me the "he's like a brother to me" line, but I knew it was BS. I pressed her further and she eventually admitted that they had dated for a few weeks and been sexually active during this time. Then he dumped her and they became friends afterwards. Now on to you fine folks of the internet to help me unpack this, please. And for the record, I have never cheated on my wife and certainly never met up with an ex for coffee trying to hide it from my spouse. I'm not perfect by any means, but my faults do not include trying to intentionally mislead my partner. Now this was a few years ago now, but ever since we have had huge fights happen whenever she tries to insinuate that I am untrustworthy in the slightest. I am incredulous to say the least, and I will no longer tolerate anything of the sort. I am trying to make it work with us for the sake of our children, but it is definitely a struggle at times. We generally get along well, but there are definitely triggers that I experience. Thoughts. Story number 2. Me and my wife need to talk. Me and my wife are high school sweethearts who just got married last August. We have been together for like 8 years. I wish I didn't do this, but yesterday she was acting a little weird about giving me her phone passcode. I needed to use her phone to finish our application for apartment because I'm handling most of this process. We got a couple drinks, came back home, and she passes out. I, like many others, even though I did trust her, decided to do some digging. Found out she cheated on me in 2020 during COVID when we weren't living together. I am in complete shock. I never expected this. I have no idea what the fuck to do and how to proceed. I am having a hard time looking at her in the eye and have had a knot in my stomach all day today. I love her so much, and we have a dog who I also have a deep connection with. I know I am going to have to confront her about this, but it is so tough. She is the only person I have had sex with, and I thought I was the only person she has ever had sex with. How do I go about confronting her? Story number 3. Is my dad cheating on my mom? I live with my brother, my mom, and my dad. For context, my parents have been married for 20 years and have always been happy. Over the last few months, my dad has used Twitter religiously. I work in a bar and finished this evening at 1 a.m. When I got home, I sat in the kitchen for a bit, and saw my dad had a notification on his phone with lots of love heart emojis. Out of curiosity, I clicked on it, and saw for the last couple of days he has been having a DM conversation with a random woman on Twitter. She does not have her age or personal information on her profile, but she looks like she is in her early 20s. She also seems to be a real person, so I don't think she is catfishing him. I read the whole thread and it began as a relatively normal conversation. One of them, I can't remember who, thanked the other for following them and they had small talk. They have exchanged selfies, he complimented her, but quickly got very intense. My dad has said things like, "I love our conversations and look forward to them, and I'll keep my dreams about her to myself." He has also been using the emojis to her. I don't know what to do. I haven't said anything yet as it is the middle of the night. Do I tell my mom? Do I confront my dad? Has he done anything wrong? The whole thing is freaking me out, especially because she looks 20-30 years younger than him. To my knowledge, Dad has never done anything like this before. Also, there are no other DMs like this that I can see. Story number 4. Am I in the wrong for telling my best friend about my cousin cheating on him? Again. So for context, my cousin and best friend were together for a few years until she had a miscarriage and then went on holiday and cheated on him. Then did the same on another holiday. She told me around New Year's that she was seeing another guy behind my friend's back, as they were trying out their relationship again. I didn't tell him until I saw him the other day, in which I could not tell him. I would have felt like a terrible friend, even if she is family. When I told him, he was obviously upset and annoyed and truly felt like a mug for trying again with her. Now she is annoyed at me for telling him, but she's been in the same situation too with her brother and his ex-GF, but fails to see it as she makes everything about herself, and when something doesn't go her way she says I'm going to kill myself every single time. I'm fed up of her excuses honestly. She knows what she did is wrong but is now saying that it's all been a lie that she made up and loves my friend still. Story number 5. I and my baby daddy on and off relationship of 6 years with a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old. My baby daddy left me at 5 months pregnant. He left me because he said he was unhappy. He moved me in with him and we were 2 months in with me moving in. Turns out he asked his co-worker for her number the next day after he broke up with me and they started talking. I moved back to my mom's house with my 2-year-old and pregnant. I did message the girl to let her know, but she told me she was aware that I was pregnant but that he told her we weren't even together. I eventually left them both alone. It lasted a month and a half and then he randomly messaged me that he wanted to get back, and that he loves me. The next day he posted her on his Snapchat. I found out and sent her a screenshot of him begging for me back. I did it because I felt like he came into my life to play me once again. When I left him alone to be with this woman, things went bad between them because of it. He told her and me he only asked for his family back because she told him to. He went through depression because of it. They stopped talking mid-September. He became a mess and would just try to get back me because I felt like he felt lonely and he missed her. I had our daughter mid-October. Till this day he still hurts over her and he still listens to music related to her. But he doesn't leave me alone and constantly tells me he wants to get back. Is it really possible that he fell in love with her within 3 months? Him and I were together on and off for 6 years, and it feels like he had a stronger connection with her than with me. Is that possible? Because he still listens to love music that they both shared and he still has all his text messages with her saved on his phone. Yet he constantly tells me he loves me and he wants to be together again. Is he only using me to not think of her?